Hey guys, so just following on from my last couple videos, um, yeah, I just felt like I need to do this one straight away, only because they're kind of all interlinked, and I've only just realised, despite the fact that God has spoken to me about these things at different periods of time. So yeah, I'm gonna share just something that God put on my heart, and also a bit of a testimony as well. And today's video is titled "Remove the Clutter from Your Life and Start Afresh." And guys, I'm talking physically and spiritually in this situation. So for me, let's just start off with a quick little testimony. So I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm not the most organized, tidy person naturally. I will admit that. However, God has been growing me and working on those things. And guys, it's not like deliberate, it's just I've just struggled for different reasons. I've struggled, and I won't go into detail to why. And so because that has been like a personal challenge for me for years, honestly, it's something I've prayed about all the time. Just, recently, like God just gave me that title, like, come on, remove that clutter from your life and start fresh. Because in all honesty, and this is actually, I believe it might be scientifically true anyway, but you know what they say, like when you are living in a cluttered environment, your mind also does become cluttered, and it does play an effect on your emotions. And I truly believe that, because in the time when I was feeling recently just I just had no motivation. I was tired, I was stressed, I was burnt out, and I don't even know why, but there was something about the environment around me that just made it so much worse for me. And you know what it's like when you know, like, there's a lot of effort that's got to be involved, and you know what you need to do, but actually it's so overwhelming that sometimes it's easier to not do it at all and just to run from the situation. And when you keep running and running and running from something, you lose more and more motivation to do it. So I had to learn, do you know what, sometimes it's like ripping a plaster off and being like, do you know what, I'm just gonna do it. It's not always enjoyable, but you gotta almost push past the demotivation and the whatever you're going through, if that's depression, anxiety, sometimes you just gotta push past it and make that active decision, despite how you feel. And this also coincides with like going against the flesh, going against your feelings. When you're run by the flesh, like, nothing's going to change. But when you are led by the Spirit, you can do more than what you would have been able to do in your own strength. And this was a thing for me where, like, I was just trying to get better at this one thing in my own strength, and I would get frustrated anytime I would try and do something, and then it would just end up going back to normal the next day. And relating to the other two videos, God was just kind of showing me, like, that I'm the one that helps you, I'm the one that grows you step by step, and everything's all in His timing. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anyone says. If you've got a heart posture towards God, if you are willing to allow God to help you, like, whether you overcome this habit overnight or not, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, God is ultimately the one that's in control. And sometimes He allows you to not be able to succeed in something until an appointed time, because that's just how it is sometimes. I don't know what the clutter is for you guys. Like, I don't know if this is a physical thing like me, where you're just struggling to be tidy and organized, or whether that clutter looks like a bad habit that is just cluttering your life. Maybe that's I don't know why it's came to my head. Maybe that's smoking. Maybe it's just watching too much Netflix. Like, I don't know what it is for you that, like, clutters up your life, like that cycle, that addiction, that pattern. But if there's something that you've been dealing with and you've been trying to overcome it for like a long time, maybe it's been years and you're still struggling to overcome, maybe it's a mindset, maybe there's a mindset that's cluttering, like, your thoughts that's stopping you from receiving the peace and the love and the promises of God. Like, because that's a thing, guys. It doesn't have to be a physical thing. It can be a spiritual thing that's cluttering your life. Is it negativity? Is it gossip? What is that thing? That thing that is just detoxifying. That's toxifying everything around you, and detoxify. I can't speak today, guys. Yeah, but you know what I mean. And so yeah. So from that struggle, I felt challenged, and I just one day, just recently, I was just like, do you know what? I'm gonna just take action, and I'm gonna make a decision to have this routine and try something new. And it's so weird. This might sound absolutely ridiculous, but and you guys are probably thinking, Bev, that is literally like any normal person could do that. Like what the heck? So basically, for me, this was a big achievement. I don't know any girls or guys out here, like, sometimes I would tidy my room and then it'd be messy the next day, and it's not even like I've deliberately tried to allow that to happen. It's just little habits that I didn't get out of. So for example, I would tidy my room, and when it's like when you're exhausted and tired, and like maybe there's a pair of socks on the floor, for example, something really stupid, and like usually it's just like I wouldn't even think about putting that away. I'll just be like, oh, I'll do that later, or something like that. And like at the time it doesn't sound bad, right? Because you're like, oh, it's like a pair of socks, like my rest of my room's tidy, it doesn't even matter, like what the heck, who even cares? But over time, that one pair of socks becomes a t-shirt, a pair of trousers, and then you become like, almost like it becomes your normal, like, oh, and then you wait till it all piles up, and then you've got to go through that strenuous effort to do what you originally didn't want to do in the first place, which is like spend a whole day trying to like tidy and clean your room. And it's like, oh, and then I did that classic thing, I would always say, this will never happen again, because I don't want to be wasting my time a whole day doing this. Yeah, the same pattern happens. And it's like in your head, the sensible thing, but you just don't do it. But just recently, it's seriously so strange. Like that thing I struggled with for years and years and years, God has honestly, like, it's not even like I've had to strive. I've had to be obedient, but I've not. It's an inner thing that God has just completely changed my willingness, my motivation, and my perspective on things. Like in this last week, this sounds like so ridiculous, but I cannot literally not sit down until things are spotless, almost. Like if I don't even care, like if something's on the floor, I'm like, I just have to put it away. It's so weird, because that isn't, guys, if you know me, then you'll know, like, no, that is not like me. That's not naturally like me. First thing in the morning, like, I just can't go downstairs or have breakfast or whatever until I know my bed is made. Like, it's just become, and guys, it's not an unhealthy OCD thing. Like, obviously that's it's normal for most people to do this, I'm assuming, but like for me, it weren't the norm. Let's be real. And yeah, it's just, and I said to God, I was like, do you know what? This is so weird, because it's almost like I've not been in control. Like, I just know God gave me that desire, because does that make sense? Like, it doesn't, naturally, I'm not that sort of person. Only God can really put that desire in my heart to be better at doing that, and it's because I wanted to. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference. I wasn't striving because it's like an exhausting chore. Like, I wanted to. I took pride in my room and all that stuff. And the reason I'm using this example, because this has just popped into my head, like, when you start to deal with the problem there and then, you're gonna be more free, basically. So like now, if a person's on the floor and I put it away, how much easier is that doing that than waiting like, I don't know, a week later and you've got piles of things everywhere. And it's kind of like, that's what it looks like to declutter your life. Like, at the moment that you notice a distraction, at the moment you notice a temptation, there and then deal with it. Like, say to yourself, do you know what, today I'm gonna not do that thing, or something so small like your favorite Netflix program is on. Maybe just be like, do you know what, today I'm gonna decide I'm gonna give an hour of my time, instead of watching that Netflix program, I'm gonna read the Bible for an hour, or whatever it is, and deal with it there and then. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's like just doing lots and lots and lots of little steps will create that routine, and and then I can't remember what they say, but there's a certain amount of days until you create a good habit. And that's what happened with me. Like, you know, as this week's gone by, it's because I've been consistent, and that's the thing, it's being consistent with what you're doing. Because like picking up those socks, putting it in the drawers might seem like such a small thing, right? And that's how it always is with sin and clutter in your life. At the time, it might start off as a small thing, but then it like multiplies, and like next thing you know, it's taken over your whole life. So I guess God's challenging me just to be like, and you guys, just to be like, you know, there and then, like, start making those small steps. What are you going to do to help change your mindset and focus? Like, do you have to write a routine and go, do you know what, I have to out aloud quote one Bible verse, this Bible or whatever, every day until I start to believe that as truth? Whatever that looks like, take those little steps and God will do the rest, honestly. And so, yeah. And the fact that God said to me, start afresh, you know, I feel like it's like a spiritual season for a lot of people. I know it's for me, where you might feel like you're in transition of sort of leaving the desert, leaving Egypt and going into your promised land. You might be in transition at the moment, and you know, with COVID, we are kind of in some ways in the unknown, but I believe, you know, things are going to be happening soon, and I just believe something's coming out of COVID. Like, God's going to do something, and you know, I believe at the end of this year, moving into January 2021, things aren't going to look the same anymore. And now we're coming into this transition and almost out of it. Like, it's almost like we're starting afresh, physically for New Year, but also like spiritually. And that's how you've got to look at it. Like, when you make that choice to remove the clutter from your life and you allow God to help you with that, everything's going to be made new, and you're going to create new habits, and you're going to grow so much, and you're going to be benefited so much more, rather than holding on to that clutter in your life. So yeah, I hope this makes sense, and that you feel challenged by this. But that's it really, just a quick little thought. So just to recap, whatever you need to do to declutter everything from your life, whatever that looks like for you, physically or spiritually, do it and allow God to help you. Just, yeah, take those little steps to create good habits, and you will create new patterns, and it will be a fresh start for you in this time of transition. Okay, see you soon, guys.